What's up, guys? I did something stupid and I want to share it with you because I don't know how it's going to turn out yet, but I am a little excited to see, what comes of it. I got a TikTok shop order, right? Was stoked. It was like $40 worth of an order, and I went to go fulfill it and the item was out of stock. It turns out I had my setting wrong in Fox Lister, so I fixed that. It's all good to go now, but I still got to fulfill this order. Can't find this product anywhere, but I found a similar one that's way cheaper. I was going to make maybe $5 profit on it, right? But then I had this idea. I found a very similar product, Google searching just the title of my own product. And I Googled that and I saw all these different results, and then I saw a TikTok shop listing. So I thought about it for a second, and I ran the picture by the customer who spoke a different language, and it auto-translated for you, which is really cool about TikTok that they do that, by the way. And the guy was like, yeah, that model works great for me. And he bought 2 of them. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this out. So I bought the item on TikTok Shop. And I'll tell you why. Most of us who have been dropshipping on TikTok Shops knows that we will get orders, right? And they'll be insanely discounted from TikTok. But the person selling it still gets the full amount. TikTok eats that cost because they're trying to build up user, whatever the hell you want to call it. They're trying to get users buying stuff on TikTok and get familiar with it and not worried that it's not Amazon and stuff. So I bought the item on TikTok Shops. I bought 2 of them for $11. And my order was for $40. So after tax and everything, I think I'm taking home like $28 and at like 60 something % profit. Assuming it all goes through, what's very interesting about this whole process too is that now I get to see the customer side of the transaction and the perspective that they get. So I'm getting the notifications and the emails when things are, it says your order's confirmed and stuff like that. And I'll make a video mapping out all this, but before the process is even done, I had to hop on here and make a video about it just because I'm like, I don't know how this is going to play out. But I have it right here. I'm not hopping on my computer necessarily, but I have it where it says that my order was packed and awaiting shipment. So I'm like, oh, okay, they get one of those. I know that might differ whether or not somebody's packing it themselves and all that kind of stuff, but very interesting. I'll probably be mapping this out in my VIP group. Feel free to join that if you want extra details on it, but I will be making a video on it too in the future here once the process is done. But I hope it works out. The only issue that I think I'm going to run into is that I am drop shipping it from TikTok to this person who bought an item on TikTok from me. So it'll be the same name and same address. And then eventually when I get a tracking number, right, I don't really think it'd be smart for me to input that tracking number into my TikTok shop order for this person. Because then you've got the same tracking number in TikTok's interface for different orders, and that might flag something. Even though it's not on the same account, it's on somebody else's shop account and my shop account. I'm curious if that's going to be an issue. It might not, but I think I might still just track taco this one and buy a tracking number for it. But we'll see. I really want to just see what I get when it gets shipped, what the expected delivery date was, because the expected delivery date was also like April 2nd or so. And today's the 25th, and it's kind of far. So we'll see. But I'm excited because if so, that'll be like a really high percentage thing. And both parties, everybody gets what they want. I get paid what I want. They get paid what they expect. The customer gets the product that they want. I win the most because I basically took advantage of TikTok's desire to like severely discount products. Just bought it from TikTok then, since the guy selling it's going to get paid the same amount. But then I have to pay less to get the same price. So it's a win. I wouldn't suggest doing this all the time, but if it's a high dollar item, and $40 isn't high dollar, but like, I sell a lot of like $15, $20 things. Like, so for $40 to come through, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. And especially if like, I've got an account that like, it might make $100 a month profit right now as it starts to gain momentum. So for this one to immediately just have $30 of that in one order, like that's growth. That's a win. So I'll keep you updated. I'm curious if you could get away with doing this a lot, or if you should just stick to this like very few and far between, and only if you had to do it. Like this situation was born out of necessity. It wasn't because I wanted to do this or that I like sought it out. It was very much just something that I was just like, let me experiment and tell people who watch my stuff what happens. So I'll be talking about it in the groups, like I said. A lot of you guys have been talking about, what's the best category? Because I've been posting pictures in my groups of like my on hold sales numbers and all that kind of like the finance side of things. Letting you guys see, what does this week's numbers look like? Like, okay, I made $300 in revenue this week or whatever. So you guys have been asking for more of that. I've been posting more of that, but then I still keep getting a lot of like, well, what categories are working well for you? I don't really care about that. And that's what I go over in my course. Feel free to get that. There'll be a link in the description, but just so you know, aside from my course, like I really just like to look at products, and I have this kind of mental, checklist in my head, and I build up a list of products that are just like showstoppers to me. And they're not out, they're nothing crazy. If you saw it, you'd be like, oh, that's dumb. But what I mean by showstopper is that like when you scroll past it, it makes you stop. So it makes you just stop and be like, what the hell is that? And that extra little stop where you might be intrigued enough to click on it, and it might be great for somebody or the product just has a lot of depth to it, rather than just me being like, I guess I'll list, little cup blenders, or I guess I'll list phone case. It's like, it's a lot more than, I don't know, people might buy this, and then just hoping for the best. It's a lot of like, okay, this has this factor, this factor, this factor. Okay, it's highly likely based off this checklist that this product will sell. So I just list things like that, and then I go into like Amazon's recommended stuff, and I'm like, okay, what else is in there? I'm like, ooh, that also fits it. Now it's just a different like a different category or like type of product. Cool, same equation. Let's plug that into the shop, see if it sells. And I make sales every day now. So there was a while where I had like a huge burst of sales, and then it kind of died down, and then I'd get a sale every 3 days. Now I'd say I get at least 3 sales a day at its lowest. So if you want to do that, you're missing out. If you're not trying TikTok shops, at least you don't have to buy anything from me, but at least hop on and get started. You'll have a lot of people in comments in the groups or whatever being like, well, I got shut down immediately. And that happens. But if you haven't been shut down and you want to try to get started, like get started. Don't let other people's comments like keep you from doing something that you might not be able to do anyway. Like just get started, because I've got people in the group. I've got people I know personally and myself making a bunch of money on the side from my computer, TikTok, drop shipping, whatever the hell you want to call it. So join the VIP group. It's $10 a month. We go over a lot more cool stuff in there. You get your answers answered by me and other people in there a lot quicker. Or at all, because a lot of the questions in the other group just don't even get answered. We don't even babysit that anymore. And if the answer is too kind of complicated, I'll just usually pick up my phone and voice message you privately through like Facebook Messenger, and then you and I can go back and forth that way. You don't have to voice message me back. Just know that you can. But I just like to voice message because just like this video, I like to ramble a bit. So you might just get some more little tidbits of information there. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'll let you know how this goes.